February 2025. A Reddit user drops a set of coordinates that point directly to a classified bunker buried deep in the Nevada desert. Along with the post comes a 30-second clip, grainy, flickering, and almost impossible to verify. But what it shows is enough to freeze even the most skeptical viewer. Inside the bunker stands a massive circular device, a ring of mirrors suspended in steel housing. The mirrors are covered in glowing symbols, mathematical equations, cosmic alignments, shapes that match no known scientific notation. As the camera pans, a monitor in the corner begins to buzz with static before words appear across its screen. September 23, 2026, global blackout. Disappearing cities, timequakes, the internet explodes. Was this a hoax, or did we just see evidence of a machine designed to pierce through time itself? The post is deleted within hours, but the footage spreads too fast to stop. What the clip revealed was more than an experiment. It carried the codename whispered through conspiracy circles for decades, Project Looking Glass. And if what the whistleblower claimed is true, then humanity may have only months left before a future we cannot avoid slams into reality. Tonight, we peel back the layers of secrecy, dive into the whistleblower's testimony, and ask the question no one dares to answer. Is Looking Glass showing us the future or creating it? The whistleblower. To understand this leak, we need to go back more than 4 decades. In the early 1980s, DARPA allegedly began a classified project called Looking Glass. Officially, its purpose was to study optical resonance and temporal anomalies. Unofficially, the project sought to create a device that could do the unthinkable, peer into possible futures. The core of Looking Glass is deceptively simple. A massive ring lined with mirrors, each one etched with complex equations. When activated, the chamber resonates at frequencies designed to manipulate quantum states. In theory, this resonance allows the mirrors to act as temporal reflectors, bending probability itself like light through glass. At first, the research was scattered. Results contradicted one another. One session would show a drought in California, another would reveal a flood in Europe. The device seemed to reflect fragments of countless timelines. But then, according to documents leaked in 1995, the results became disturbingly consistent. Blueprints released alongside the 2025 footage show the machine never went offline. In fact, the Nevada bunker where the video was filmed matches diagrams from the 1980s test facilities exactly. The same hardware has been humming beneath the desert for decades. That is where the whistleblower comes in. Identified only as RM, this technician risked everything to leak details. RM claims that in January 2025, Looking Glass began producing the same output in every session. No more fragmented probabilities. Instead, the machine locked onto one repeating timeline. The headlines were always identical, always circling the same date in September 2026. RM's testimony grows even darker. They claim the symbols etched onto the mirrors were not written by human mathematicians. Instead, they were copied from unidentified aerial phenomena, patterns recorded in declassified UFO encounters dating back to the 1950s. In other words, the foundation of the device may not be human at all. So we are left with a terrifying thought. If Looking Glass was built on alien equations, then perhaps it is not our machine. Perhaps it is their machine, and we are only the ones keeping it powered on. The 2026 future. What exactly does Looking Glass show? According to the leaked video, and according to every session described by RM, 3 key events appear. First, global power grid collapse. The monitor's text is explicit. Synchronous cascade failures ripple across the world's electrical systems, as if one domino knocks down every power line, every generator, every data center. Civilization's nervous system, gone in a day. Second, time quakes in 37 cities. At first, the phrase seems meaningless, but RM describes it in terrifying detail. Buildings flickering in and out of existence. Streets that suddenly end in walls of static. People vanishing mid-step as if the second they occupied has been cut away. Entire neighborhoods collapsing into gaps where time itself no longer runs. Third, shadow network activation confirmed. If you have followed the earlier leaks, you know what this means. For years, people have reported glimpsing strange duplicate cities, phantom skylines rising at twilight, mirror images of towns appearing on empty plains. These are the shadow cities. Looking Glass predicts that after the blackout, they will expand, pulse, and merge with our reality. The most horrifying connection comes when technicians align these events with astronomical data. September 2026 is not random. It is the month when the cosmic mass, known as K7b, makes its next close pass near Earth. The orbit is precise. The blackout date and the mass's return align perfectly. And then there is the VHS tape from 1998. On it, a scientist can be heard screaming as alarms blare. His final words before the camera cuts to static are unforgettable. It is not predicting, it is programming the future. If that claim is true, Looking Glass may not be a window at all. It may be a scriptwriter, forcing the world into the very timeline it shows. So here is the question. Are we looking at prophecy or a countdown? The November connection. If September 2026 is the collapse, then November 2025 is the lock. That is when the timeline hardens. The whistleblower describes a critical date, November 11th, 2025. On that day, Looking Glass registers a spike in probability, 97.3%. Before that, the future is fluid, branching in countless directions. After that, the probabilities collapse into one single path. From that point onward, the sequence of events cannot be changed. Why November? Because that is when the cosmic mass, K75, makes its closest swing past Earth. Its gravity and unknown energy fields resonate with Looking Glass, causing its mirrors to stabilize into a single reflection. For the first time, probability becomes certainty, and history gives us a chilling precedent. In 1985, the Soviets tested their own crude version of a time viewer, codenamed Kronos. The device overloaded during a high-energy experiment. According to survivors, 40 technicians were caught in the resonance field. They did not burn. They did not die in the usual sense. They froze. Witnesses said the victims looked suspended mid-step, caught in gestures that never finished. Their faces were twisted into silent screams, their bodies locked between seconds. Some stayed that way for hours before collapsing lifeless to the floor. Most disturbing of all, Soviet logs describe the exact same equations for temporal quakes appearing on their monitors moments before the catastrophe. Equations that are now seen daily in the Nevada bunker. If November 2025 is when probabilities lock, then humanity has less than 3 months to alter course, assuming course can be altered at all. If Looking Glass is not just reflecting, but programming reality, then every second it runs, it is writing September 2026 deeper into our future. Shadow cities. The leak mentions something else rarely discussed, the shadow cities. For decades, there have been reports of phantom towns appearing out of nowhere. Farmers in Kansas claim to see skyscrapers shimmering over empty fields. Pilots report flying over duplicate versions of cities that vanish the moment they circle back. Looking Glass suggests these are not hallucinations. They are echoes, places where other timelines bleed into ours. The headlines show that after the blackout, these shadows will no longer flicker. They will become permanent, merging with our reality and swallowing the cities they mirror. Imagine walking through your neighborhood and finding a duplicate version of it layered over the streets. A second city fused to the first, not quite solid, not quite illusion. That is what Looking Glass calls shadow network activation. And if the leak is correct, this is not limited to small towns. Entire capitals may split into duplicates. London, New York, Tokyo, swallowed by their own shadows. Humanity will not only lose its future, it may lose its sense of which reality it belongs to. So here is where we stand. A machine built on alien equations. A whistleblower risking their life to reveal it. A date in November when the future locks, and a date in September when civilization collapses. We are left with two possibilities. Either Looking Glass is revealing what will happen, and there is no escape. Or worse, it is not revealing, but enforcing. Each activation is a nail in the coffin, hammering the 2026 disaster into place. The governments of the world may already know. That is why the footage was buried. That is why the Reddit post vanished. But the question is no longer whether the machine is real. The question is whether the future it shows can still be stopped. September 23rd, 2026 is coming. Shadow cities are already appearing, and Looking Glass continues to hum beneath the Nevada desert, writing reality into stone. So I ask you now, what do you believe? Is this prophecy or programming? Comment your thoughts below, because once the date arrives, the debate may no longer matter. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because before September 2026, we will expose more of what they are trying to keep hidden. And remember, if the timeline is locked, then the countdown has already begun. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mystery Central so you never miss a notification when we drop a new mystery. Stay curious, stay mysterious.